Hello everyone, welcome to rsumlife. Hope you're all doing good. Today we are gonna do a little bit of reverse analysis on the reasons of this type of successful harvest we had last year and get to the roots. I was just thinking, gardeners believe in tomorrow. That just says how beautiful and how positive the whole process is, isn't it? And with this huge bags of gongura rosella leaves we got, it all started from these teeny tiny seedlings. Can you imagine that? These teeny tiny seedlings gave us so much of crop which we are enjoying in the winters also. You guys would have watched my earlier video on lab, which is lactic acid bacteria. If you didn't, please do check out that video. It's very helpful in this process of starting seedlings. I do use lab for starting the seeds indoors. I just take for every 1 liter of liquid, I take almost 3 to 4 3 ml of lab and mix it up with the water. And I always soak my seeds in this lab before putting it into the soil. And we all have these beautiful mushroom containers. As we know, these days everything has to come in plastic, and a better way of recycling the plastic would be for using to start the seeds. So what I do is I actually this is one of the trick for labeling what you are actually growing, what you are actually trying to germinate. Just take the labels from the packets of the seeds and you can just stick it onto the containers where you will be trying to germinate the seeds. I generally try to avoid as much as spending money on these small little things which can be and reuse whatever is available at the house. And these mushroom containers, yogurt containers, you will see in this complete video how many of reusing is going on. And these are the bell peppers which I have collected from one of the times when we actually got it from the grocery stores. So I just scooped it out, saved the seeds, and I grew from those seeds. And of course, always include your little kids into the process, and they will love the complete process of seeing how these tiny seedlings germinate, how they become into plants, and the complete process. So we soak all these seeds in the lab at least until the sprout starts to come out. You'll see in the next clipping of this video. So take all the seeds, put it into separate containers, and pour the water which has lab in it, and let all these seeds soak for at least for me it was at least 2 days, I believe 2 to 3 days. I was talking about the bell peppers, right? Yesterday I had to go for the groceries, not for the vegetables, so for the milk and eggs of all the sort. And I saw these organic bell peppers, which were of a pack of 3 or 4, and they were selling it for $3.50. That just says a lot. It's not just you're trying to grow something. You could actually grow something really good and for a very affordable price. This complete process will actually give you positive energy, and it's good for your bank too. You guys see, this is the day 2 or day 3, I believe. The sprouts started coming out, and the lab will actually strengthen the seedlings, and it actually improves the quality of the seedlings. I believe the lab helps a lot with how the seedling is formed, and how the complete the plant will grow. If the seedlings are nice and strong, they will have the resistance to stand any kind of bugs and bacteria or whatnot they will be hit through the summer. Coming to the soil, what base I use after this sprout happened would be, I had just regular potting soil. Few people, if you have and if you can afford, use a seed starting soil, that is also good. But for me, regular potting soil was available at the house, and that's what I have used. And again, we had aluminum trays from a party, so I was just reusing that. So just put 2 seeds in each of the hole, and the depth will be less than maximum of 1 inch, I would say 1 inch, that's it. Don't go too deep, because little seeds, tiny seeds will not be able to push it out and come out of the soil, the seedlings I meant to say. One of the days we had good weather, so I was able to do the soil mixing process outside. In the soil, it was just regular potting soil, and few people make soil with cocoa peat, perlite, and a bunch of other stuff. But with the time constraints, I was just using the regular potting soil, and it worked pretty good for me. After you sow all those germinated seeds into the soil, this is the liquid what we use. This is one of the important steps after the seedlings are formed. We definitely have to make sure that soil is never dry, and it should not be soaking wet too, but spray it all over the soil, and this has one of the important liquid in it. So what I do is I actually put a teeny tiny drop of 2 to 3 drops of fish emulsion oil, which will stink the whole room for sure. That is gonna happen. But the thing is, this new seedlings, if we give a little bit kick of nitrogen, the seedlings will be getting that nitrogen source, and they will grow much more better than the regular plain simple water. So I put maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 drops of fish emulsion oil, and I do put lab into that, again 2 ml of lab, and I put it into a spray bottle and spray it all over these the soil which has already germinated seeds. So because we have soaked the seeds already in the lab, and basically we have soaked the seeds, right, it would give us a better chances of the seedlings sprouting, which are already sprouted basically, and you'll have a better chance of the seedlings growing healthy, and you'll have almost all the seeds which will pop up into these beautiful seedlings. I'll quickly go through a couple of tips which I wanted to give you guys. Before starting any of the seeds, do check your last frost date in your area. You can just Google, give your zip code and say which is the last frost date, and based on that only start the seeds, because if you start it too early, there are chances of these seedlings becoming, these baby plants becoming too leggy, which you don't want to. And you cannot actually put the plants outside if there is by any chance a frost which might hit in the middle of the growing season. So that's what's first step. Second one is get all the trays ready and the soil ready, because once the seeds get germinated in the lab water, we'll have to immediately transfer it into the soil for them to start growing into these beautiful seedlings. Few of the vegetables should not be transplanted. Example is the carrots. Carrots needs to be directly sowed into the soil. So check the labels for whichever the plants you are gonna start. If you would like to be directly sown into your garden soil instead of the starting it indoor. Many of you have asked, how can I know what zone I am in? Just in the Google, say give your zip code and say which gardening zone you are in, and Google will reply back saying 7A or 9, whatever the zone you would come into. I do have a window with good sunlight, so I generally don't use any growing lights, but if you guys want, I will check with my other gardening friends and try to get some recommendations on the growing lights. But I do have a good sunlight spot, so I generally don't need to buy any of the growing lights or any of the heating pads also. And make sure to water these plants regularly. I just use a spray bottle to mist it around the soil instead of direct pour, because these are like tiny ones and the soil is not that much to handle the stress of too much of water. So this is the video about how to start seeds indoors. For very less cost, you can actually start almost all your seeds in a very healthy and successful way if you can follow this method. And you don't need to go to any nurseries and spend like $3-4 on each of the plant. Instead, you can just grow the seedlings in the house in a very healthy way, and you can have literally abundance of food in your house. If you happen to like this video, please do share, subscribe and comment, and of course hit that like button. You all have an awesome life. Happy and healthy gardening. Bye now. Take care.